Okay, so get ready, because in this deep dive, we are going to, we're chasing a cosmic celebrity that has got everyone talking.
Yeah.
Comet C 2023 A3.
It's really kind of incredible how quickly this object has sort of captured the public's imagination, even though most people haven't even seen it yet.
Right?
But it seems like every other headline is calling it the comet of the century.
And, we had to find out why.
Yeah.
You've dug up some really interesting articles from Praias do Paraná. It's a publication in Brazil.
Right.
I love getting a global perspective on these kinds of things. So let's break it down. What exactly is C 2023 A3?
Well, for starters, it's brand new to us.
Okay.
Astronomers at the Chinese Suchinshan Observatory only discovered it this past January.
Wow, fresh off the cosmic press. What's even cooler is where it's coming from.
Right. This is where it gets really interesting. Imagine the very edge of our solar system, way past Pluto. That's the Oort cloud, and that's like a deep freeze of icy objects left over from when the solar system first formed. C 2023 A3 just spent, a few million years out there before starting its journey towards us.
Okay, so it's a long way from home, which makes sense why we're only just now noticing it.
All right.
But comet of the century... Is that just hype, or should we actually be excited?
It's more than just hype. We're talking potentially as bright as Venus in the night sky.
Wow, okay.
And, Venus is bright enough to see easily with the naked eye, even with some light pollution.
Sure.
The last time a comet was this visible to the naked eye was Hale-Bopp back in the late 90s.
I was going to say, that rings a bell. Hale-Bopp was huge. Okay, I am so there.
Yeah.
When do we get to see this thing?
Mark your calendars for October 12th to the 20th. That's when it'll be most visible to us. It actually reached its closest point to the sun back on September 27th, and all that solar heat is what makes it flare up and create that awesome tail as the ice turns to gas.
Oh, cool. Okay, so early October is prime time. Those Praias do Paraná articles were full of tips for spotting it.
Absolutely. They stress the importance of finding a dark location as far away from city lights as possible.
Right.
Obviously, binoculars or a small telescope will give you the best view.
Sure.
But you might be able to spot it with just your eyes if you know where to look.
And in the 21st century, that means there's an app for that, right?
Of course. They recommend using astronomy apps like Stellarium Sky Safari or Star Chart. You can punch in your location and they'll show you exactly where to look in the sky for C 2023 A3, like having a real-time map of the cosmos.
Downloading one right now. Okay, so it's going to be a spectacular sight, but there's got to be more to this comet than just looking pretty right. This is the deep dive after all.
You're absolutely right. Think of C 2023 A3 as a time capsule from the early solar system billions of years ago. As it travels closer to the sun and heats up, it releases gas and dust that have been trapped in its icy core for eons.
So we're seeing a material that's literally billions of years old. That's wild.
Exactly. By studying the composition of C 2023 A3's tail, scientists can learn about the building blocks that were present when our solar system was just forming.
Wow.
It's like a cosmic fingerprint that can tell us about the conditions back then.
That is so cool. But how do scientists even go about studying something that's moving that fast and is so far away? It's not like we can just fly up there and grab a sample, can we?
You're right. We can't exactly send a spacecraft to scoop up some comet dust, at least not with current technology. But we can analyze the light that the comet reflects and emits.
That's incredible. I'm dying to know more about how that even works. What can this cosmic fingerprint tell us about the early solar system?
Well, for one thing, it can shed light on the types of elements and molecules that were present way back then. Like, it can help us understand the ratios of different elements like hydrogen and oxygen, which can give us clues about the temperature and the pressure in the early solar system.
It's like a cosmic puzzle, and all the pieces are starting to fit together. Speaking of puzzles, those Praias do Paraná articles mention something about the comet's speed. It's not just strolling through our neighborhood, is it?
Not at all. It's absolutely blazing through our solar system, traveling at around 290,000 kilometers per hour.
Wow, okay. That is fast. I mean, I knew things moved quickly in space, but that's a whole other level. Just trying to grasp the scale of that.
Yeah, it is mind-blowing, isn't it? To put it into perspective, that's over twice the speed that the Earth orbits the sun.
So this comet is like the Interstellar Express. It makes you wonder how our ancestors would have reacted to seeing something like that streak across the sky.
It's fascinating to think about, isn't it? Comets have captivated humans for millennia. Ancient civilizations often saw them as omens, signs of great change, or even messages from the gods. Can you imagine looking up and seeing this object blazing across the sky with no scientific explanation for what it was?
It must have been equal parts awe-inspiring and terrifying. And to think now we have the tools to not only predict its arrival, but also to unravel its secrets and learn about the very origins of our solar system.
Exactly. It's incredible to think about how far we've come in our understanding of the universe.
It makes those late nights of comet hunting totally worth it. So for those of us who are ready to be captivated and maybe a little terrified, any last-minute tips on how to make sure we don't miss this celestial event?
Well, we've covered finding a dark location, ideally away from city lights, and using binoculars or a telescope if you have them.
Right.
Even just using your naked eye can be rewarding if you let your eyes adjust to the darkness.
Right. And I think those astronomy apps we mentioned earlier are going to be key for knowing exactly where to look.
Absolutely. Don't forget about those. They'll give you real-time updates on the comet's position because its brightness and trajectory can change. So it's good to have the most up-to-date information.
It's like having a cosmic GPS guiding us to this incredible event. But I have to ask, with something moving that fast, how do we even know it won't suddenly change course and head straight for us?
That's a fair question. While C 2023A3 is moving incredibly fast, astronomers have been tracking its trajectory very carefully. They use sophisticated telescopes and mathematical models to predict its path with incredible accuracy.
Phew, that's reassuring. So no need to panic and start building underground bunkers just yet.
Not at all. We're perfectly safe. This comet will pass by Earth at a very safe distance.
Okay, good to know. So we can all relax, download those astronomy apps, find a dark spot, and just enjoy this rare opportunity to witness a piece of our solar system's history flying across our sky.
Precisely. It really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many people. This comet won't be back in our neighborhood for millions of years.
Millions of years. It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Thinking about how small we are in the grand scheme of things.
It does. And it highlights how interconnected we are to the cosmos.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we've been talking about how this comet is made up of the same materials that were present when our solar system formed, right? Well, those same elements are the building blocks of everything around us. The planets, the stars, even us.
Wow, I've never thought about it that way.
It's true. The atoms that make up our bodies were once part of stars that exploded billions of years ago. We are literally stardust. And this comet, in a way, is like a distant cousin, a reminder of our shared cosmic heritage.
That gives a whole new meaning to we are all connected. I'm getting chills over here.
Yeah.
So this isn't just a comet we're talking about. It's a tangible link to our past, present, and future. It's humbling to realize we're all made of the same stuff. You know, I mean, we're talking about a comet, something that's been out there in the depths of space for millions of years. And here it is potentially visible to us here on Earth.
It really is a powerful reminder that we're part of something so much bigger than ourselves. And it makes you wonder what other mysteries are waiting to be discovered out there.
Right. Like what else is hiding in the Oort cloud? What other incredible celestial wonders are waiting to be seen? Makes you think about all the amazing discoveries we're yet to make in the universe.
Absolutely. It really is an exciting time to be interested in astronomy. There are so many new telescopes and space missions coming online that are pushing the boundaries of our knowledge. And of course, comets like C 2023A3 offer us these valuable insights into the early solar system.
Speaking of which, any last-minute tips for our listeners who are planning their own comet spotting adventures?
Well, we've covered a lot of ground, like finding a dark location, using binoculars or telescopes if you have them, and checking those astronomy apps for those real-time updates on the comet's position. But there's one more thing from those Prize du Perna articles that I thought was worth mentioning.
Okay, shoot.
They suggest giving yourself plenty of time to enjoy the experience. So don't just rush out to look at the comet for a few minutes and then go back inside.
Yeah, that's such great advice. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle of everyday life, you know. But this is a chance to slow down, connect with the universe, let your mind wander a little bit.
Exactly. It's a chance to kind of reconnect with that sense of wonder and awe that we often lose sight of as we get caught up in our daily routines.
Yeah, I love that. And just think about all the amazing stories and myths that have been woven around comets throughout history.
Oh, absolutely. It's so fascinating to see how different cultures have interpreted these celestial events, you know. They've inspired everything from epic poems to these elaborate myths, and they've even played a role in shaping our understanding of the cosmos.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired to go out and look up at the stars.
I'm right there with you. So to our listeners, happy comet hunting. And we hope this deep dive has inspired you to step outside, look up, and embrace the wonders of the universe.